So just for the record, I do not want to have to make this video today, but I'm making it because I really need to, out of a sense of accountability. And yeah, this is gonna suck. Morning, girls. How's everybody doing? How's it going, Amanda Hug and Kiss? How are you doing this morning, sweetie? I know, it's been a tough couple of days here. At least tough day. So this is our farm's newest cow mom, or she just had the most recent calf, I should say. Her name is Amanda Hug and Kiss. And you see her here, but you're not seeing her baby here. And to be quite honest, that's because I don't know where her baby actually is. She had a calf 5 days ago, and it was just this beautiful little black bull calf. When I saw it first thing in the morning on Monday, it looked great, and I was super excited about it. I wasn't even expecting another calf, and yet I could tell probably a couple days beforehand that seemed like Amanda was getting ready to calve, and so she did. And you know, everything with the calving went well. Easy delivery, it was perfect weather the last couple of days. It's been like, you know, a high of 70 and kind of a low of like 45, 50, which is, for Scottish Highland cattle, you couldn't ask for better temps or weather or anything like that. The day the calf was born, I ended up giving it its BOSI shot, which is like just a bunch of minerals and supplements to make sure it gets off on the right foot, something that my vet recommends to me for my calf health. Over the next couple of days, I had given it all of the necessary shots it needed. I hadn't banded it yet, but I was gonna do that in probably a week or two anyway. And so I was excited. I thought things were going really, really well. And so I came out here yesterday morning and I was doing my usual chores and check-ins and making sure everything was okay with the animals and looking good and all that good stuff. And when I was doing my head count, I couldn't actually find her calf. It was completely gone. And I will acknowledge that I've had that sense of stress and panic before when it comes to newborn calves. You know, particularly this time of year when you have grass so tall, a newborn calf can easily hide here. Newborn calves are also prone to going to take naps in the tall grass and get situated, and you know, like they want to hide because, you know, they're essentially a prey animal. And so while I wasn't totally panicking, I figured since I now have this new thermal camera drone, it essentially uses infrared. And so rather than using light to dictate what image it creates, it uses infrared signals to dictate what the image that it produces is. And I'm doing a terrible job explaining it, but it essentially lets you see heat. And what's so handy about that is the fact that, and you guys have seen me do this in other videos, where I can spot, you know, deer in the middle of the night, but it's also useful because I can spot animals going through forest and foliage and tall grasses. And so I took the camera up and started looking all around in this area, and I couldn't find anything. Which, when that happened, I was starting to get a little panicked. And so then I set back out on foot, or actually I guess technically on my bike, and I scoured the entire pasture looking for something. You know, it would be kind of a long shot given the fact that you have an entire herd of Highland cattle here and you've got livestock guardian dogs. They're really just on the other side of that fence, and so if there was something going on, they would come see it too. And even just this time of year, you're less likely to see an animal like a coyote or a bear try to do a risky attack and try to kill something like a calf, which they could do, while you've got all of these other factors on, as well as the fact that this time of year, there's plenty of other food. And so if this was in like March or April or even early May, I would actually think the coyotes would be more bold. But this time of year, it's just not that big of a thing. And so I was really searching this field for, you know, whether or not the calf was here or whether there was like some remains or signs of a struggle. I have cameras like posted kind of all throughout this property at this point. And so I was checking every single trail camera I had, every single angle. I wasn't even seeing coyote activity on the farm anywhere over the last 48 hours leading up to yesterday. And so that kind of had me ruling out a predator attack of any sort. And so now what was at first like kind of a little, hey, that's kind of weird, or uh-oh, I'm really kind of worried, it now is turning into like another Pigfoot level stone cold mystery. And throughout the course of the day yesterday, and I spent pretty much my entire day yesterday doing this, I was just searching the farm for this calf, and I didn't find a darn thing. And again, these are newborn calves. This is a calf that is, 4 days old. And so, I mean, you see these guys, they are actually, a month or two old. Actually, Buttercup, who's this calf right here, she's the oldest calf, and she was born in April. Like, you can see they're pretty chill. They're not gonna like completely just run away and wander off like some sort of like wild bull looking for the ladies. And they stay very close to their mom. And you can see Amanda, again, the mom of the calf that I'm looking for. She's right here. Well, she seems a little, I don't know, sad and melancholy. She also wasn't totally freaking out. And so that would suggest that it wasn't like her calf just wandered off magically, but without question, her calf is no longer here. As my search went on yesterday, I actually started to realize that, oh gosh, I'm probably looking for a body and less of looking for a live calf. And so the other thing that I noticed that I didn't see yesterday at all, and usually I would, and I was expecting maybe I would see it this morning, and I'm definitely not, is to say, am I seeing scavengers out? Like, are the turkey vultures or the crows or any of those types of birds out and active in any spot? And I haven't really seen them at all. I saw like one turkey vulture fly over down that way yesterday, but like that was it. And so nothing in this area even close, like anywhere in this pasture or anywhere like the borders around this pasture, to suggest that, there's scavenger activity going on. And thinking back on it, when I last saw the calf, it was, I guess not yesterday, but the night before, probably around, I don't know, it was about 7 p.m. And he looked good. He was friendly. He was bright-eyed. I was even able to like walk up to him a little bit and boop his nose before he like sprinted away from me. Like, he was showing all the signs that he was a healthy calf. When I lost the 2 calves last year, which, as I went through some work with my veterinarian, determined that it was actually a mineral deficiency, which is why, as I mentioned earlier, I give them that specific mineral shot. Both of those calves that I lost, that was like a 48-hour to 72-hour decline that hit them really, really hard. And probably, as I think about it, right, it was probably about 12 hours between when I first saw him, or saw him the night before, versus when I came up here and he was gone and missing. And so I definitely don't think it was the same thing that affected my other calves, but I guess there's also a wide variety of other illnesses and ailments and problems that it could potentially be. It does leave me thinking that the only reasonable explanation for everything is ultimately he got sick or came down with something really quickly and is dead, and I'll probably find him in the next few days somewhere, probably in that space, as the cattle start to graze that way and they clear out all the grass. Because right now, as you can see, like, this is the grass that they've been in for the last day. They're going, or just move them down that way just a little bit. Starting tomorrow, they're gonna be in here, then they'll start to eat this grass down. And again, even though I've been through back and forth in this space 20 times, it's not impossible to think that I haven't missed it. I'm sort of dreading what I might find like over the course of the next week as the grazing continues to go this way. And as far as going out this side of the fence and like over here, I'd say it's pretty unlikely. I mean, you can see there are several strands, and even this strand right here, which I don't want to touch right now because it's on, like, is electrified. And so you've got multiple electric points. Actually, it's not even just that one. It's on this side, it's this. So there's a lot of hot fence right here that would make it very hard, particularly for a very young calf, to slip through anything like this. Not impossible, but extremely hard and extremely unlikely. Yeah, I don't know. It's just gone. It's vanished. It's pulled to Sir Porkington, and I don't know what happened. And I will admit, like I said at the beginning, I really didn't even want to make this video. I didn't want to come outside today. I feel like an incredible failure yet again, failing at things that I've failed at before, between losing a calf and having an animal disappear, not just like a small animal, but a large animal. Like, I would think I'd be getting better. I think I'd be becoming more competent, and I don't feel like I am. I will say, looking at these little calves makes me maybe feel just a little bit better about the whole situation, but I don't feel great. And I just know I'm gonna rightfully get roasted in the comments of this video, and I feel like a gosh darn idiot. And all the same, this is what it is, and I always feel like when something like this happens, I have a responsibility to talk about it, and so that's what I'm doing, but ever so reluctantly. So despite the fact that I burned pretty much all of my day yesterday trying to find this calf, who, by the way, the calf, I was actually gonna give him a name, and the name is Sly Stone because he was born on the day that Sly Stone died. And so it felt like it fit the dead rock star criteria pretty well. Other than that, I have been really, really busy on the farm doing cleanup, getting pumpkin planting going, moving birds, and one group of birds that I did move was the chickens. And so we now have most of our chickens, not all of our chickens, but most of them are up here on the top of the pasture doing their thing, following the cattle, picking through the cow pies, and I don't know, living the pasture life. How's it going there, chickens? How's everybody doing this morning? Now let me turn this off so I can go inside and visit you. How are you girls doing? And boys? We got a couple boys in here. Oh no. Hey, what's all this business about? We got 1, 2, 3 chickens laying eggs where they shouldn't be laying eggs. All eggs are supposed to go in here, girls, in here. What do you do? You've like, oh, this actually might be our problem. I'm gonna have to kick you out, girl. I genuinely thought I had my egg problem solved and my broody chicken problem solved by the way I'd set everything up, but I don't even know how she did this. I'm gonna try to get her out right now. Come on, girl, get out. I want you out. Oh, and she smashed a bunch of eggs? This is a sticky situation right here. Hang on, I'm gonna have to get you from the other side. Actually, in an attempt to make my job easier, let's feed these chickens so that most of them are distracted. Now, let's see if we can get her out. You can actually see they're double stacked. Like first off, I gotta get this chicken out, and then I gotta get the other chicken out. Okay, now I've really found the problem. So those are most of yesterday's eggs. I was wondering why my egg collection was so light. It seems like she's just been blocking up the hole while everybody else has been laying eggs. Seriously, guys, more chickens, more problems. Get these eggs out. And now, I don't know how I'm gonna pull her out. Oh, you made a mess, girl. Oof. And you're getting yourself filthy. Why would you do this? Get out of there, girl. Hopefully you're gonna be okay there, filthy lady. Yeah, Beetlejuice is giving you the one too. You know, overall, this has been a very challenging week for me on the farm, aside from the events of yesterday. You know, earlier this week, one of the things I did was I actually moved this chicken coop out of the hoop coop, which is always a production because I was stupid the way I parked it, and I had parked it all the way in the back, and I parked it backwards. Like, you can only pull this from one side because it's a 2-wheel trailer. So it's got the wheels on the back, and those wheels on the back actually are supported by this like little thing here, but you can't really push it or pull it on that wheel all that well. And really what you should do is like lift this up and put it on the trailer hitch. But because I was a dummy in the way that I had actually parked the trailer last fall, it meant that I was gonna have to take the side-by-side all the way in and then back the trailer all the way out. And if you guys know me and my history of backing out trailers, yes, I am not a proud graduate of the New England Tractor Trailer Training School. But despite my lack of skills, I was actually able to pretty successfully back this thing out in a relatively easy fashion. And I don't know, I was feeling really good about myself and proud about myself. And so that whole day I had a work plan of like doing some farm cleanup and moving some stuff around. And one of the things that I wanted to do was take, not the coop that I used last year, which is actually the same coop, but the one that I'd used the previous couple of years that was a mobile chicken coop. It was too big and too tall and not really good for what I was trying to do with the chickens. It had been sitting down in my pasture pretty much all of last year and so far all of this year. I had this plan that, you know, one of the projects I have this summer is I want to build a new goat yard. And I was gonna take that old chicken coop and convert it into a little house for the goats. And it was gonna be so much fun, and I was super excited about it. And so my plan was, you know, while I had the tractor in and I was doing other cleanup stuff and cleaning out the hoop coop to get it ready for pumpkins, I decided, well, let me just pick this thing up and move it to where I wanna have it for the goats. And so using the pallet forks on the tractor, I picked up the coop, I strapped it with some ratchet straps, and I was moving it along. Unfortunately, And I don't even know how to talk about this one because it's so epically stupid, and I feel both cursed and extremely lucky at the exact same time. While I was moving it, it became unsecured and it fell down, and the chicken tractor fell on my tractor. And it actually fell in between the grill guard of the tractor and on the actual grill, and it smashed the whole grill, and it hit the battery and pushed the battery so that it came in contact with metal on the I think it was like the radiator. That sparked a fire within the battery, and it ruptured a fuel line. And I was talking to a tractor technician actually just yesterday about it all, and he really thought I was lucky that I didn't have my entire tractor explode. So yes, as a result of that accident, my tractor is currently not functioning. You guys really gotta look at this. This is crazy. When I sent the pictures to my tractor dealer to get parts and like figure out which parts I needed and all that good stuff, they were blown away when they saw what happened. So basically what happened when the coop fell, it fell backward and fell in between this grill guard, which is usually supposed to protect you from something like this happening, but it actually fell right in between. And as you can see right here, like this whole thing is entirely crushed. And then as you look underneath it, like this is where the battery fire hit. So like, I'm pretty sure it hit like one of these pieces of metal. And so like all these cables have to be replaced. All this has to be replaced. Obviously this grill has to be replaced. There's like a fuel line that wraps back behind there because there's like a turbo and full like cooler back there. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. It's kind of a complex tractor when you look at it. And it's actually still leaking some fluid. So that's why I have this bucket underneath here to catch it all. I can't even turn it on right now to drain it, but later today I'm gonna get a battery to replace so that I can at least start it to see if I can do a couple of things, and then probably take it over to my friend's farm for the full repairs because he's way more skilled at this type of thing than I am. But between the calf yesterday and this the other day, it's just been an exceptionally frustrating week here on the farm. Hello, Lady Abington. Hello, Mr. Tobington. Well, the scavengers finally decided to show up. What's going on, guys? What is this? Do you understand what's going on? I don't know. I mean, I would expect, if I'm looking for some sort of sign about the calf, I would expect to see them back there. And I don't know, they're over here. It looks like they're just sort of scouting, looking for something. All right, gooselings, I'm gonna let you out. Let loose the goose! Good morning, my little monsters. How's everybody doing? You guys are looking pretty good. The adult geese love to yell at you. It's always chaos with geese in the morning. Of course, over the racket of everything, I am hearing some distressed duckling. Can you hear it? It definitely sounds like it's coming from our maternity ward. So yes, this is actually working out pretty good overall. Oh, hey, look, she finally kicked out all the other eggs. So you can see Mama Goose and her gosling over there. She has that nest over there, and it looks like she finally, just in the last 24 hours, she's kicked out these eggs. And the ducklings over here, oh, and that mama duck is doing really good with her little ones. But I hear a stray duckling. What's going on? That duckling doesn't belong with her. The one downside to this area, trying to catch a baby bird in all the tall grasses is really hard. I did that intentionally because I wanted to make it really hard for like a hawk or something to try to swoop down and take them, or like for them to hide if, I don't know, Abby dog try to get too playful or something. But it does make actually trying to catch one of these guys hard, because it's like they all hide under the house or they go into the deep grass. Here, let me give you guys some food. Don't worry, I'm not trying to take your little one. That baby bird is well protected.
20 minutes later.
So I just spent the last 20 minutes trying to catch this duckling. I haven't. But it does seem like the duckling is now being accepted by the mama duck. You can see it right there. You can see how there's that one little brown one that is significantly smaller than the others. And I know for a fact that that's one more duckling than she had last night, but it looks like it's being adopted, so that's a good sign. You can see Baker the duck, which is actually what the Twitch chat named her, because she's had a dozen ducklings. You can see actually all of them. She's surprisingly got all of her ducklings there, and she's doing really good as a mom, and I've been very impressed with her. She's quite possibly been the best duck mom I've ever had. She hatched out all dozen herself, which is actually the most I've ever had a single duck hatch out by themselves, particularly in like an outdoor setting like this. And then the fact that they're all, I don't know, almost a week later, still thriving and surviving, I'm very happy with her, and she's done some good work, and so I think she's good. But yeah, if I do find random strays, I do have a place to bring them. All right, gotois. Now it's your turn to come out. Come on, boys. So yeah, the goats are now basically free ranging in this lower pasture during the day, and then I lock them up at night. As I'd mentioned earlier, you know, I was gonna try to build them a new yard. I will build them a new yard and a new house. I won't be repurposing that chicken coop because in order to get it off of my tractor, I had to basically disassemble it, plus a whole bunch of it was destroyed. And so while I'll be using some of the scrap lumber, I won't be able to just completely repurpose it the way I thought I could, which is a little bit of a bummer. But other than that, I got to admit, the goats bring me an incredible amount of joy. Yes, I'm talking about you, Larnie, you too, Barney, you too, Telly. What's really kind of fun is I could just call them and they will just come in at night because they know I'm going to give them just a tiny bit of treats. They're actually really easy to manage this way, and so I'm pretty satisfied with how it's working out.
Come to me, gotois! Gotois!
Gotois! There you go, my little gotois. Hey, you guys. All right. Let's see how everybody's doing this morning, huh? So we actually had our last official gosling hatch of the year happen 3 days ago, I think. And so what you're seeing here is the product of that. This was kind of a unique hatch because this had both goslings and ducklings. So here's one of those adorable ducklings that hatched. This one is an example. This one is actually much more of a Khaki Campbell type duckling versus this one has definitely runner genetics, and I don't know, this might either have wild genetics or Ralph the Duck genetics. And then obviously I also have an assortment of all sorts of good goslings. And I will admit, I'm a little bit sad that these will probably be the last goslings to hatch. And when I say last goslings to hatch, I mean they will be the last goslings to hatch this year. Next year, we'll do the cycle all over again. So this one was actually an assisted hatch. His name is, or their name is Jake, I should say. And they were having some leg problems. This is what I use whenever I have goslings or ducklings or chicks with leg problems. We're gonna actually take it off because I'm pretty sure he doesn't need it anymore. Okay, yeah, he's gonna be great. I am super excited about that. This is the weirdest brooder, this one, because there are a bunch of ducks in here. And what you'll also notice is that there are a bunch of ducks that like to sit on the brooder instead of in the brooder. It started with Brussels and Sprout, and it just has continued to pretty much everybody at this point. This is Sprout. So you guys remember the duckling I found the other day, or 2 ducklings that I found the other day? This is one of those 2. He's almost big enough that I might move him today or tomorrow and put him out with the goslings, I think. He's getting pretty close. So you can see there's 2 goslings in this one, 6 ducklings here, including Brussels and Sprout, who are the 2 biggest. So the black ones, basically. Hi, you are a friendly one. And then Rocky is the yellow one, who's a little bit older as well. All of these other guys hatched. I had extra space in the incubator, and so I just decided to take a couple of the ducklings that I was pretty sure were related to Ralph the Duck, which looking at a few of them, I think my guesses were pretty good. Like all the ones with the weird coloring and interesting coloring, I think they're either part call duck or offspring of my wild ducks that have been living here. You know, another interesting thing that I've seen here is just how much of a difference and how much messier ducklings are relative to goslings. Like I would change, you know, bedding and everything once a day with the goslings, and it was really easy and just, it wasn't nearly as gross. The ducks make such a bigger mess compared to the goslings. It's kind of comical. I'm going to actually make it so that I have all the ducklings in one and all the goslings in another, just so you guys can see the difference the next day. So first, let's start. I've got a clean brooder ready to go. For this one, we're gonna just take all the ducklings. Come with me. All right, now I gotta go clean this one. We're gonna start taking you guys. Come here. Come here, little Jakey. So we got all our ducks in a row, as well as all of our goslings goosing. Now we can give you guys your hot plate. So yeah, one of the things I like about these plates is you can just adjust the height really easily by twisting these legs. The only downside is these plastic legs are kind of fragile. I'll get you guys more greens in a little bit. I know the goslings love them. Let me give you guys your hot plates. Now we can take the dirty brooder out of the way. And we're gonna put this cover over on this side because these ducklings could very easily jump out.
All right, so you guys are all set, and you guys are all set.
And you guys are all set too. Have a great day, everybody, and thanks for watching.
Excuse me a little one second.